Every time I walk past the gym and see someone doing bench presses, my heart hurts. When we look at this exercise, we will see some very positive points and some very negative points. Brother, this is an ancient exercise. I extrapolate to say that it was the second exercise. First, there was the squat, then came the bench press. The bench press has always been a reference for chest work. And when we go into science, we have always seen it since the earliest studies. For a long time, it was the main exercise for the chest because 1, it is the oldest. 2, everyone has always done it. 3, it has always been the most studied. As things evolved, science has developed a lot today, opening our eyes to some important things. When we look at the bench press, we see very interesting muscular work, especially because this exercise allows us to handle high loads, which favors the development of these muscles. Another thing that is really cool and that this exercise delivers to you is chest, shoulder, and triceps work. All these muscles in one exercise. Especially for a person who has little time to train, the idea of optimizing training, optimizing the work of several muscles with just one exercise, is really cool. For those of you who are lazy, it's also cool because you do it lying down. Rest, right? We're talking about good chest training, but if we look more in depth, we start to find some interesting points. Let's go to the first one. If you consider that the pectoral, among its muscular functions, has the function of shoulder adduction in the bench press, it does this. If you look here at the arm only, both are shoulder adduction and abduction. So the bench press makes an arm and shoulder adduction movement. However, for the muscle to develop to its greatest extent, it must be shortened and lengthened considerably. That's why we talk about a range of movements here. Science also supports this a lot. Because you hold a bar, the bench press means that you cannot shorten as much as you can. When you extend your arm, you reach a point. Yes, you created an adduction, but you could not shorten this muscle completely. At this point, you have already started to lose muscle work. The people who love bench presses, the bench press people, are going to start hating me now. I hate you! Right now, I'm saying that the bench press is limited due to muscle shortening. We're talking about range of motion at the top and limited shortening at the top. When you go down, many people also lose work in the sense of stretching, because the bar hits the pectoral here, and then you can't stretch the fiber as much as possible. The bench press is in the middle. It neither reaches maximum shortening nor maximum lengthening. At that point, it becomes limited. The point is that this limitation of movement itself is compensated with load, answering what you may have thought. If you have more limited movement, you have more space to load, but you're not feeling the work as well as you could. This is the first point of the bench press. The other point of the bench press is that you do it with a barbell. Using a bar means you lose some instability. Whenever you have instability, the muscular work is more significant because the muscle has to stabilize this whole thing. Having a barbell instead of 2 dumbbells means you lose some muscular work. In the same way that you do barbell curls or simultaneous curls. There will be this difference too. But really, that's not the big question. I'm just listing all the favorable and unfavorable points. It's okay. Now I will start getting into the question that hurts my heart when I see people doing it. We're going to talk about movement techniques. There is a lot of talk, and I have said a lot, that the bench press exercise is harmful to the shoulder, but the point is not that it is dangerous. Poor execution makes it harmful. Can you tell the difference? If I tell you that you need to contract your lats to do bench presses, does that sound strange to you? In other words, your bench press needs to be corrected. If I tell you that for you to do a good bench press, you need to have a glute contraction, does that sound strange to you? Your bench press needs to be corrected. I'm bringing you some characteristics of a powerlifter's bench press, that guy whose championship is to do the heaviest bench press possible. There are squats and deadlifts too, but let's pay attention to the bench press. This guy's technique is very worked out, and a good bench press involves work, a contraction to generate stability of the dorsal and gluteal muscles. I will tell you when I started learning how to bench press and why I am doing it. All the things I've brought up so far, you will find negative points and positive points in all gym exercises. So far everything is fine. But from now on, we enter a point that could cost you the health of your shoulder joints. We're talking about a movement technique that will cause this exercise to hurt you, and we're talking about something else now that I see happening frequently, which is the suicide grip, the false grip. Guys, for the love of God, don't do this thing. Athletes have died because of this. Then I grab the bar. What will happen to my fist? While this is happening, what's going on here? You're demanding too much from that fist. Do you agree with me that the bar is pulling me in this direction? Will we understand this here as a bone column? The column is not just below the vector, but on the side, causing a giant torque and a torsion of this wrist. Your brain, intelligently, what will it do? It will draw strength from your chest. What does the person do? She goes for the fake catch. The bony column is just below the bar vector in the false grip. What does the brain understand? This weight is well supported on this spine, so I can distribute force to the chest and everything is fine. Then I'll tell you what exactly I learned from the powerlifting people. Here we go. You're going to do this grip on the bar, right? You should rotate your hand a little bit. But my thumb hugs the bar, my index finger too. And this makes the bar very tight, very secure. Look at how the force vector is entirely on top of the bone column. This gives me a lot of strength. My brain understands that I can release force there, and I'm wrapping it around with my thumb. Stick your finger in. After making this grip, the dorsal contraction comes. Look at the elbow. Then, I create a space in this joint for the movement to be made. If I take it like this and do it, I reduce the space in this joint and cause the movement to hurt my shoulder with each repetition. And that's exactly what we normally see when we don't see someone doing bench presses, and they still do it that way. Do a dumbbell press, do the machine bench press, you will get more benefits in terms of exercise, and you won't run those risks. So I ask you, is it better to do an exercise that will bring you more results and will keep you further away from injuries? Or do an exercise that is not the best of all worlds, it is just the most studied, the most talked about, the best known, and still taking serious risks with this joint? Here, I have selected the perfect execution of the dumbbell press, which is a great exercise to replace the bench press. Be sure to share your experience with the bench press here in the comments. Stay healthy, stay happy,